This morning, I'm fortunate to get to talk to Celeste Herrmann, a former MHS student who was in my marketing class, and honestly, truly one of the nicest young ladies that ever went through Marion High School's hallways. Just a very kind, friendly person, and it's good to connect with her again today. So thanks for doing this, Celeste. If you would mind,
thank you so much. That was so sweet.
I would love for you to just talk a little bit about what you were involved with while you were here at Marion High School, what year you graduated, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I was really lucky to have a really good high school experience. I graduated in 2013 and was pretty involved in high school. I did tennis all 4 years. I was in choir for 3 years. I think I didn't do it my senior year. I was in NHS, and then I also worked. I worked at Extreme Sports ever since I was 16, and then I would work at Joyce's Bridal, which was super fun, seasonally. So for like homecoming and prom, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I feel like that was one of the busiest times was high school in my life was high school. It was always like something on the weekend, something after school, you know. I kind of missed that a little bit.
For sure.
It was a good ride.
I think we do have a lot of opportunities for our students, and so they do stay pretty busy.
For sure. So that would also be a little piece of advice I feel like for students is to get as involved as you can. You know, I think that's really important to be involved in, you know, in different things. You know, it was nice to have like that, be able to do tennis, so more of a workout, and then also choir. So just different groups of people that you surround yourself with, I think is really nice.
Absolutely. So from high school then, kind of walk us through your career path from graduating to the position you are at now. You're a buyer with Walmart, based out of Arkansas.
Associate buyer at Walmart with an apparel.
Okay, all right. So if you wouldn't mind to kind of just share how you ended up where you are today.
Yeah, for sure. So after graduation, I enrolled in Fontbonne University, which is a really small university. I think undergrad's like 900, so really small. It's in St. Louis, Missouri, and I studied fashion merchandising and minored in marketing, and really enjoyed it. I was able to play tennis there. It was Division III, so nothing crazy, but that was nice. I knew I wanted to do something with fashion. Loved clothes, loved the clothing course at MHS, and I was like, I know I want to do something with clothes. I want to do something with fashion. I love it. I'm passionate about it. So I was lucky to be able to study fashion. And within my time at my university, I kind of worked just odd jobs here and there. Since I was a full-time student, I didn't have a full-time job, but I did kind of odd jobs. So I nannied a little bit. I was able to work with a professional stylist at one point on professional shoots, which was really fun. And I also worked with a local, it was like a local company called Raw Artists, where we would scout local artists within the St. Louis area. And then once a month we would have these big showcases, and I was able to work them. So, you know, we'd have like painters and, you know, live music. People would be like painting live right there at the showcase. So that was really neat. And yeah, so I ended up studying abroad my senior year, which was one of the best experiences I had. It was super fun, learned a lot. It was difficult being that far from home for 4 months, but it was a good experience. And I enjoyed my time. I'm sorry?
Where did you study abroad?
So it was a program called Semester at Sea. Have you heard of that at all?
I haven't, but.
No. Yeah, so it's a program. It's basically you live on a ship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was the craziest thing I've ever done. It's still one of my favorite memories. So you live on a ship and you go to like 11 different countries.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah. So when you're on the ship, you're studying, you're taking classes. And then when you get off to each country, which would be anywhere from like 4 to 7 days, depending on the country, you would have free time. So you wouldn't have class, but you had class every day that you were on the ship. So that was really neat. I was able to meet a lot of students from abroad from all over, and I still stay in contact with a lot of them. So that was really great. And then after that, and 2 of the summers within Fontbonne University, I got an internship with Walmart corporate. So I would move down there my junior and senior summer, because I thought I was going to have another semester after my senior like spring. So that's why I had that internship, but then it ended up like in the middle of my internship, I'm like, oh wait, no, I think my advisor messed up one of my credits or whatever. So I'm like, no, I think I'm graduated. So I called her and ended up being able to graduate correctly. So I didn't have to do another semester. So did my internship with Walmart and really enjoyed it. My first summer I was with men's apparel. And then my second summer I was with boys apparel, boys bottoms and activewear. It was like very specific. So really enjoyed my internship, and through my internship, I got on full-time as a merch specialist, which they no longer have that role. But it was basically like an entry role where I was in toddler, boy, and girl. So after that role got eliminated, so I was there for like 5 months with that. And after that role got eliminated, I was promoted to associate buyer for junior tops, which is where I'm at now. And I've been here for like 2 years, been in my role for 2 years. So yeah, that's kind of my journey. There's a lot to it, but I would definitely say my internship was the biggest thing during my college experience. I think that is so important to look for internships. I wish someone would have told me to start even my freshman year, because I met people at my internship that had an internship like every single summer. And I only did it, my junior, senior year, but I wish I would have done it from freshman year, maybe even with a different company each year, just to kind of show you, you got like a little glimpse inside of a company and like what you'll be doing before diving fully in and working full time.
Absolutely. Consistently, the alumni I've talked to so far mention their internships and how valuable they are, and how much they encourage students to start as early as possible. It's great experience. And like you said, you can see different aspects of an industry to help you kind of pick what your specialty might be. For
For
sure.
sure. Even if it's not the company you choose to stay with, you may take an internship and think, I don't really love this,
That's good to know.
Yeah, for sure.
Before you sign a contract, with somebody, that's good information for sure. So on the day to day, when we're not sheltering in place, what does it normally look like for you to be a buyer? What do you do throughout a day or a week? I know every day is probably not exactly the same.
Yeah, so that is one thing I like about my job, is that every day is absolutely different. Like it's never the same, which I really enjoy that. So as an associate buyer, my role is really to support my buyer or my boss. So I'm really there with her from the beginning stages of trend to the product being actually in the stores. So my favorite thing about my job is going to all the trend meetings, like color and trend. So seeing what's, going to be popular with, a year from now. We're always usually working in a year in advance.
Gotcha.
So it usually starts with like a trend meeting. And then my buyer and I will work with suppliers, various different suppliers to, choose product that we want on the floor. And then there's various little steps it takes to get to writing the orders and then making sure that product is on the floor in Walmart at the right time. So like this week I'm keying orders for our September set of products. So within my area, we update product every 4 weeks. Okay. So there's always, new products coming in. So we're always like keying orders, writing orders. So right now I'm just keying, which is like pretty mindless. You're just like keying in the order. My boss writes the orders and I just key them in a system. But like later this week, I'll be working on our store execution guide, which is what the store associates see on how to set the floor. So it's like a visual for the store associates to see, this is how we want to set the floor. We want this color here. We want this color in the back. Here's how the walls look. Here's how the tables look. Here's how the four-ways look. What else? A lot of different little things, working with our modular team to make sure that those stores get everything on a modular. So it tells them exactly, like within their system, exactly where to place the product on the floor. And that guide kind of gives them a visual confirmation of that. What else? A lot of it, the part I struggle with the most is the numbers side. Definitely think I'm more of a creative person. So it's a lot of numbers, a lot of, reviewing sales, looking at what's doing well, what's not, and why. And I'm really like that liaison between my buyer and the suppliers. So, the suppliers are the ones who actually make the goods and ship them to the store. So there's like a lot of little things.
This is so exciting. There are so many applications to what we talk about just in our introductory marketing class. You're doing the visual displays or helping your associates know how to do their visual displays. But also, like you said, you have to do projections on what's going to be popular, what people are going to want as far as styles and trends. So you're looking at market research, you're looking at demographics, you're looking at projections, but also then you have to do like budgeting, like to know the quantity to order from suppliers, right? And so there's a
there's a lot
going on.
Oh, for sure.
Working with a lot of different moving pieces.
And the thing is too, like so we're working in this season now, like what's on the floor right now in Walmart. And then also, like I said, finishing up the orders for September, and then also starting trend presentations for January of next year.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you're always in different time frames and it's a lot going on, but it keeps it fresh and exciting, and there's always something new every day.
Absolutely. That is really, really neat. And it's neat to see the business, the aspect of it. There's a business side, but then there's still that creative outlet that you get to have, which is really good.
Yeah. And so with that, like I said, since I'm not as analytical as I am, I think creative, I would really like to get into product development. So product development is more of working strictly with the product. So not necessarily looking at the numbers, but working with suppliers to say, hey, we want this style shirt. We want it in these colors. We want it in this fabrication, and really working more with the product. So hopefully that'll be trying to get that to be my next.
Well, that's like the progression of the career ladder, then I would assume, right? Or is it more of a lateral move kind of thing?
It would be a little more lateral. If I wanted to go like truly up, it would be a buyer, like a senior buyer, whereas what the boss is. But I definitely know that I don't want to stay with buying forever. I'm glad I did it and got the experience, but I just don't think it's 100% what I want to do. I definitely want to be more with the product side for sure.
Well, I will say, my daughter always said, she was younger than you by a few years, but she always said you were her style icon in high school. Like, I always loved your style.
Oh my gosh, that is the best thing I've ever heard.
Did you see what Celeste was wearing today? No, I loved it. She's my style icon.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is the sweetest. Faith is so sweet. I love her. That is so sweet.
So, and truthfully, I still remember what your dress looked like that you wore as homecoming queen. Like it was just perfect for you. It was beautiful. So you definitely have an eye and chose an eye for what you're doing and chose to go in the direction of your passion, which I think is always going to make people successful when they're doing what they love. I believe that we're all created with certain things that we're just drawn to. And I feel like you are really following, that path.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. And that's another thing. I kind of got some pushback whenever I said, from some friends and some family members that were like, why fashion merchandising? What are you going to do with that? What is out there for fashion merchandising? But there's so much. like we don't even realize, like, I didn't know, like your son testing soil. I had no idea that that's a job, So there's so much out there, and you just gotta, look for those career options, see what are you interested in. And, if you're passionate about it, you're going to find something within that field that works for you, for sure.
So for students that might be watching that think like, yeah, I like that. I like what she's talking about. What are some of the career options if someone were to study fashion merchandising? Obviously what we've talked about with you, but kind of what are some of the other directions that students might take if they're interested in this industry?
I would say, buyer route, like I said, product development. You could do color and trend. Like I said, we have a color and trend team at Walmart, which I think would be so fun. So they really just study trends, and they follow influencers and try to project future trends. You could go to the store level. So if you wanted to be a store manager, a department manager, what else? I'm trying to think. I mean, there are so many options. You could work with the technical design. So you could even do design. You could design the product. You can work with the technical team. So they're the ones who fit the garments and make sure the measurements are correct.
Gotcha.
And yeah, there's so many different options.
So when you were in college, did you have to do did you have to do design too? Like, did you have to create, I don't know, I don't want to not use the right terms, but outfits or,
yeah,
so I know, like a season of clothing or anything like that?
I didn't, since mine was more fashion merchandising.
Gotcha.
I didn't, but we did have like a visual display class, which I really enjoyed. So we would get like a section of this window and, make it up and put clothes on the mannequins and have a theme. So that was fun. And we also had a clothing class. So I had to sew. There was a clothing 1 and a clothing 2 course where you learn to sew, and you would make your own garments, which was really cool.
So if you wanted to design, you would kind of take that track more, where you were doing more of that, the sewing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be more design. But, I think as long as you have fashion under your belt, like, you could get into that.
Yeah. That is really cool. So last question, and you've really done a good job of kind of weaving this into our discussion anyway, but what kind of advice would you give to a junior or senior at Marion High School today? Or if you were to go back to when you were a junior or senior, what is something that you would have liked to have known before graduation?
I would say to try to job shadow if you can. That was really helpful to me in college. Like before I started working with that stylist, she did one of these things where she talked to, our class and explained her job. And afterwards I was like, hey, I really enjoyed your presentation. Can I just come job shadow you for free? You don't have to pay me. I'll just work for you. And then, so I went on a couple shoots with her, learned a lot, and she ended up hiring me.
Awesome.
So was paying me. So I think, really get out there and ask people, hey, can I just come watch you? That way you can kind of have an idea of what they do, what it's like to be there with them. And most likely people, if you're going to work for them for free, they're going to be, for not every job, but the majority, I feel like they will be okay with that. Mm-hmm. Also, I would, advise to work in the type of environment you're interested in. So like I said, trying to get an internship with an area you're interested in. So it was nice for me to be able to be within apparel during my internship to kind of get an idea of it. I would say be involved too within, be involved in high school and college. It's a really good way to meet friends and, meet different people, but also that was something that I was told by my advisor at college. She was like, one of the reasons you got in here and you got a really good scholarship was because you were so involved in high school. So we were able to see that you were involved and also had a good GPA while being involved. And I also think having a job is important too, to kind of learn work ethic and, having to be here at this time, in this uniform, and just kind of learning those job skills, in high school. I think that's important for sure.
Absolutely. I agree with all those things. We do try to offer some job shadowing for our business students. But one of the things that we were kind of trying to work on developing is doing some externships over Christmas break and spring break so that the students could do a couple days. So I'm hoping by Christmas, we'll be able to launch that for our juniors and seniors. I think that would be a good experience.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I would say for every student to take full advantage of that.
So that's something, yeah, we're trying to build towards. But I really can't thank you enough, Celeste, for sharing with my students today. I know they're really going to enjoy hearing about your career, and I look forward to kind of following you as you continue to move along in your profession. And when this is all lifted, and if you're in Marion visiting family, I would love for you to come in and talk to my students in person sometimes. I know that really just soak it all up.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, this has been so nice. So good to see you again. I miss seeing you.